Hey everyone, Dr. John Paul here, and I'd just like to take a moment to quickly say thank you to everybody who continues to subscribe, continues to share my messages, but most importantly for everybody who continues to return. So this week on Twitter, I asked the question, what would people like for me to cover in this week's episode? And everyone seemed to respond to the topic of how to overcome imposter syndrome. And so this week, I wanted to give you a couple of details of how I'm overcoming imposter syndrome in my life and how you, yes you, the viewer, can overcome certain elements of imposter syndrome in yours. So last week, I had the wonderful opportunity of covering this year's DragCon with Contrast magazine. And while I've gone many years in the past as just a regular participant, this year was much different for me because not only was I going there to work, but I was now in a space with a whole bunch of different successful media influencers and YouTubers like myself who were there to cover different stories. And when I tell you that there was a moment where I felt so scared, I truly dealt with that most of the time that I was there, walking up to many of the queens and other celebrities asking them for interviews. And so one of the talks that I had to have with myself afterwards was, why was I so afraid to be in a space that I worked so hard to be in? So I personally started thinking a little bit about important things that I had to remember as I'm on this journey to becoming a more well-known media influencer. And so today I'd like to share those thoughts with you as well. So the first thing that I wanted to bring up is that it's so important for you to recognize that you have to own the work that you've done. So in the last 8 months, I've worked extremely hard to get my voice into certain media spaces. I've not only had the opportunity to write in Blavity and The Root, but I also did a TEDx. And that was huge for me because that was something that I always wanted to do, but never thought that I could do. And so when I was at that event and I was thinking about all of the things that I have done, I had to remind myself, Dr. Higgins, you've worked extremely hard for this. And that's the message that I want to share with you all. It's so important for you to validate yourself. Validate the work that you're doing and know that everything that you're doing is with purpose. There's no reason to feel like a fraud when you know that you're doing the work to achieve the goals that you want to achieve, right? The next thing to keep in mind is that as you're on your journey to becoming the person that you want to be, it's so important for you not to compare yourself to other people who might seem more successful. Case in point, I sometimes get really hard on myself about why people are not subscribing or why people are not checking out my videos. And at the end of the day, the only person that it's hurting is me because I'm now comparing myself to other people and their work ethic. What you do in your time and what you do in your space of your life is on your own timetable. There's no reason to compare yourself to other people and the work that other people are doing because at the end of the day, you never know what another person is dealing with. It's really important to also say that as you're validating yourself and you're validating the journey that you're on, it's recognizing that yes, your entire life is just that. It's a journey. And so by sitting around and comparing yourself to other people and their journey, you're taking away from all of the lessons that you could learn on your own. So take a moment to step back and ask yourself, why is it so important for me to reflect on my journey as I'm working hard to do all of the things that I want to do in my life? The last and final thing that I want to acknowledge as we're talking about imposter syndrome is recognizing that you have the right to live in your full authenticity. So what does that mean? If you're struggling, okay, I get it. But at the end of the day, the struggle is what makes this life so amazing. I can say honestly a year ago that I was nowhere near where I am now in all of the stuff that I'm doing. And who knows, even at this point of only having 61 subscribers, yes, I do check them. I'm appreciative to know that there are 61 people in this world who truly care about me and my voice and the work that I do. So yes, while it's extremely difficult for me to continue to put my voice into different spaces and continue to do the work that I do, I recognize that the more work that I do, not only on myself, but for other people, other folks will acknowledge it. And at the end of the day, people will come. So yes, while imposter syndrome is real and it can suck at times, it's really important for you to recognize that you are on your own journey and you have every single right to walk in that journey authentically. With that being said, I want to go ahead and say thank you to everybody who continues to support me and continues to support my voice and put my voice in different spaces. Make sure that you check out my website at www.drjohnpaul.com, or you can follow me on all social media by subscribing to Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And until next time, take care of yourself and remember, you deserve every good thing that happens to you. Take care.